So I was in Sydney. You should come join me for the trip. So the first stop on our journey was the Gold Coast. Now it's not quite halfway, but we had a wedding to shoot there. Once we had finished at the Gold Coast, it was time to drive all the way to Sydney to make it just in time for the next wedding, the very next day. So we arrived at the hotel with maybe 3 hours before the wedding, so it was time to get a little bit of shut-eye, but the view was amazing. But not the time and place. Time to sleep is right now. So we got out to Manly and saw some nice views, and then it was time to go back to the hotel to finally have a proper night's sleep in Sydney. And we had one day off while we were in Sydney outside of these weddings, and we were staying in Chatswood, which was right next to the train station, so it was super easy just to jump on the train and go to town, and that's exactly what I wanted to do. We're ready to go.
Ooh, you get the baby. Why are we vlogging?
Sorry, I bumped into you. I was trying to get in front of the camera.
First stop, we had a wander through Sydney CBD. Last time I came to Sydney, I noticed that there really wasn't much going on in the CBD itself. So we went through Hyde Park, and we also had a wander through the Queen Victoria building. Now, last time I came through Sydney, it was shut because it was late at night, but this time I got to see like the whole thing on the inside. Looked really nice. Probably should have seen it last time. And we walked slowly past the Leica store, and I felt like I was far too poor to even be thinking about looking at the store. Maybe one day. I had this need to go to a crossing, the Rainbow Crossing in Sydney. Absolutely imperative that we needed to go. So my whole trip was just to beeline to that crossing. So on the journey to this crossing, we walked through Darlinghurst, which had some really nice scenery and some really nice houses, and I'm glad it was definitely worth the detour.
What you're taking a photo of looks like a face, right?
Then we took the train back home to stop in at a Chinese restaurant. Now, none of the staff spoke English. In fact, this became a problem when we asked for water and they served us boiling hot water. And we're like, hang on, water, cold water, and they're like, 1 second, tapped on a customer next to us who happened to speak Chinese and English at the same time, and asked for cold water for us. So that was interesting. We still had a couple of hours before we needed to go to bed, and I really wanted to take a photo of the Sydney Opera House again. So I jumped in the car and said, come on Mum, let's go for a drive to Sydney Opera House. So we drove there and paid $50 for parking. $50. And yeah, it was nice photos, but I don't think I'd pay $50 again. So I think now we had had enough of Sydney and it was time to come home. Finally get home, and Quentin was very happy to see me after I had gone for 2 days without him. He's very upset, Kato. Time to go home, Kato.